What's up, YouTube? Hello, we are back with another video. The patch notes for the new Season 11 season have just come out, and we need to look at them, and I need to show you guys what they are. But let's get into it. If you're a new viewer, welcome. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. If you guys like the video, please drop a like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate that. Well, we got a lot of good stuff to get through here. First off, obviously, Ashe, the new legend. I believe she came from Titanfall. I never have played a Titanfall game, actually, so I don't know anything about her backstory or anything like that. But I know people have been wanting or thinking she's going to be in the game at some point, and now she is. So let's go over her passive. Her passive is Marked for Death. Ashe's map shows the location of recent death boxes, and she gets a special prompt on the death box to use it to mark surviving attackers. So basically, you're just going to know where to go to third party all the time with her. Her tactical is a arc snare, which basically you throw it on the ground and it tethers to people. Like, it'll just start shocking them. Honestly, when I first read this, I thought this should be like a Watson thing. Like, why does Watson not have this, to be honest? Then her ultimate is you can just basically fast forward, just straight forward into a portal, and it'll open a portal for a really short time. And people think that this is going to kill Wraith, essentially. Honestly, I think this really just depends on how long the portal will stay open. If it only is open for like 5 to 10 seconds, I think this is much more like an Octane jump pad than it is a Wraith portal. So, honestly, Octane mates might want to be a little more scared than Wraiths. But anyways, I really do think she'll probably be a really good character. She'll probably fit right into like the Octanes and Wraiths of the world. And like she'll just be a really fun character no matter how good or bad she is. I think people will just want to play her no matter what. Up next, we have the new map called Storm Point. We have it's like kind of an island map, and I wonder if there's going to be swimming involved anywhere. I haven't really seen any gameplay if that's going to exist or not. I think it's going to be bigger than World's Edge. I've seen that it'll be the biggest map they have, but I've also seen people say it's going to be a small map, so I don't really know. Honestly, I hope it's big, because less third parties, obviously. But anyways, some of the highlights of this map include gravity cannons, which you can see on the map here. It's going to kind of take the place of balloons. And then another big change on this map is that there's wildlife now. So it's kind of similar to King's Canyon, where there's like flying dragons in the air. But this time there's things called prowlers, spiders, and flyers. And I think they actually like attack you and do damage to you if you don't kill them. But when you do kill them, they will give you shield, like they'll give you progress to your Evo shield, and they'll give you loot. So that's at least a good thing. But I don't know. I hope these things aren't difficult to kill. Then you got all the points of interest, which aren't loading for me at this point, except Lightning Rod, apparently. But there's 17 of them, which I think is the most they've ever had. If you guys want to look through them, obviously I'll leave the patch notes down in the description below. Quick update on the map rotation. They're just going to have Storm Point and World's Edge right at the beginning, which obviously that's just to give everybody time to play the new map. I personally think I'll really enjoy the map. I really like the bright maps, like when they made the change to World's Edge on the background and stuff like that. I don't know. There's something about the bright map that is visually appealing, and then I enjoy playing on them. And then Arenas map rotation apparently will only be used for custom-made Arenas maps, so they won't be using any Battle Royale locations for Arenas. Like, they're just going to make completely new maps, which is probably good because they'll actually be map-specific to Arenas. I actually really enjoyed that Encore map that they put into, which is probably because it's a custom-made map. Another thing that we already knew about was the new SMG they're putting in. It's an SMG that can use light and heavy mags. Apparently, it handles like a light gun. So, I don't know. To me, it kind of looks like the Volt that's just not energized, basically. And if it is similar to the Volt, then I will probably really love the weapon because I love the Volt. And now we move on to the portion of the patch notes we did not know beforehand. Ranked Battle Royale, the RP portion, is getting a bit of a change. Basically how it works is you'll get RP based on the level of the player that you kill. So if you're on the same level, like a plat player kills a plat player, you'll get the same amount of KP just like always. But if a plat player kills a diamond player, you'll get a little bit more. Same goes for the opposite way. So if you're like a plat player and you kill a gold player, you'll get a little bit less. You can see the tier differences on screen now. You can pause it if you need to. Another important note is that they're raising the kill cap to 7 instead of 6. So you are going to be able to get a little bit more RP every game if you do happen to get those 7 kills. I think that's also assuming, though, that every kill you get is on the same rank as you. So maybe if you get 6 kills of like higher ranked players, you only need 6 KP to get max. I don't know. Honestly, in the grand scheme of things, just get kills and place high, and let them do the math later. It's still the same concept. I got a little example here in the patch notes if you really want to know how the math works out. Honestly, I'm not going to worry about it too much. I've been seeing so many people on Twitter already like complaining about these changes, and I completely don't understand it. I really don't. I don't think this is going to make that big of a change in ranked. I honestly think that it's mostly just because they didn't get what they asked for, such as like deranking out of a rank. That honestly, I would be very much for that. But honestly, I don't think these changes are going to make that big of a difference. I think where they might hit the hardest is like plat, maybe diamond levels, because that's kind of where you see a lot of people bring in their friends, such as like plat players playing with gold players. Honestly, I don't think those high level lobbies will make that much of a difference. I mean, yes, diamond players can kill predators, but like it's only a 2-point difference. I don't think people are going to be trail chasing for a 2-point difference. But anyways, let's move on to ranked arenas. They're splitting up into now 2 splits, which I like that because the one season was really quite long. But honestly, I think that's really the only significant change. They're improving the matchmaking, which obviously everybody knows that was fucked up. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that works. And they're adjusting how much AP you gain and lose from each match. So improvements on arenas, we're looking good there. Now let's get into the legend balance changes. The one and only legend that got changed was Wattson. Wattson finally got her buff that people have been asking for since like 2019. Well, let's get into the juicy stuff of her. Obviously, the fence was just buffed a shit ton. Increased damage, increased the stun, your debuff duration, decreased the recharge time, increased the range, changed some animations and speed so she can put down her fences faster. Just overall good stuff for the fences. Fences will actually hit pretty hard now if you walk through them. And her ultimate has been completely reworked. You can only have one ultimate down. It now lasts forever, and there's a certain amount of shields that can be distributed to the players, basically, instead of infinite shields. And they increase the recharge rate, which is obviously that's a big buff. Another interesting note is that if you take damage while regenerating shields, you have to wait 1 second before it starts regenerating. So if somebody's shooting you, you are not going to regenerate shield if you're like in a fight. And the pylon zapping ability is a little bit better. Instead of waiting until it gets in range of it, it'll just destroy it right when it detects that it's basically a danger to you. Now, this might be a hot take, but honestly, I just don't know if these buffs are enough. I think the reason Wattson is not that good of a legend is because of her kit in general, just the way you play her. She'll probably be a good endgame character because any character like Wattson or Caustic or Rampart, they're usually pretty good endgame characters because you got to get a lot of defense. But the reason Caustic is so much better than like Wattson is because you can hide those canisters. Like you can't hide a Wattson fence. So I don't know. I don't know about these buffs. They're good buffs, obviously, but I think she might still be weak. Now on to the weapon changes, weapon balance changes. They're taking the triple take back out of the crate, putting on the floor, and putting the G7 in with the double tap trigger. The G7 to the crate doesn't really bother me too much, but the triple take coming to the floor kind of scares me, especially if they're not nerfing it at all, which I don't see any nerfs in the patch notes. So this is kind of scary to me. Triple take is more of a sniper, I think, than a marksman rifle. So if it isn't already, could be a sniper meta. New hop-up called the dual shell for the Mastiff and the 30-30 repeater. I'm excited about this one because I love the Mastiff. And if this makes the Mastiff better, I am all for it. Love it. Also, the 30-30 repeater. If you guys aren't good with the 30-30 repeater and you still think it's trash, then you're just wrong at this point. They have buffed it so many times, and this dual shell hop-up can make it just insane. Also, I believe that they said that it's like you don't get like double ammo. So like you have 6 shots in the Mastiff, you have 3 shots if you do the dual shell. Then we have the fully kitted rotation. You guys can look at that when you need to. Eva 8 getting a little bit more of a nerf. Probably deserved. It's still pretty good. Probably still be always good, honestly. Then we have a Peacekeeper buff. This is interesting. The choke up time reduced from 1.5 to 1.25. And the spread is going to be tighter. Also increased pellet size. This could really make the Peacekeeper really good. I know there's a lot of people out there that really enjoy it. I personally don't. But I will definitely be trying it after these buffs. Then we have the longbow going back to where it used to be like before this season. I don't really think that's going to make a difference. Alistar getting a big nerf. Honestly, I think this significantly reduced projectile collision size. That'll probably be the biggest part of this nerf. I think what makes the L-Star so goddamn overpowered is the collision size and the fact that it like blinds you when you shoot it. I don't really think it does that much damage. It's just the fact that it's so hard to miss with it. Thank God, though. L-Star being meta might be the most annoying gun to have meta with just its blinding effect, honestly. It was just so bad. G7 getting a bump up in damage and the double tap added, which will probably make it a solid care package weapon. Honestly, that'll probably be really good. I enjoy the G7, so I'm looking forward to that. Supply drop weapon rates. There'll be more weapons in the supply drops. That's pretty cool, because those are what people get the supply drops for, is to have fun, get the good weapons. That's like what's fun about those supply drops, you know. Crafting is getting a little bit of a buff. You'll get more ammo. It also is going to cost a little bit more, but that's probably a good change. Just having to craft less is good. Evo armor points when crafting moves up to 150, which that's probably good, because I always thought it was dumb that it was only 100. Like if you wanted to go from like white to blue, like it was annoying. And then we got some arenas changes. More weapons will spawn early round. I don't know how much change will that be. And then we got some weapon price changes. I think the biggest one here is the RE45 getting buffed here. Like it'll just cost less. I think an RE45 is a really good weapon, and I've honestly, with those buffs, I will probably be using that a lot more often here. Anyways, if you want to look through that, just pause the video. And the rest are just bug fixes. I like all the changes they made. I think they're all going to be really good changes. Personally, I really wish we would have seen more legend changes. I don't know. I hope there's more coming like mid-season or something like that, because just the one change to Watson I don't think is enough. They must have just forgotten about everybody else spending so much time on Watson. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and we'll see you in the next one. Have a great day.